Hello everyone. Our today's presentation is called Insurers, the time for competition is over. The time of co-opetition is now. Let's work together. But let me please first define what I mean by co-opetition. Co-opetition is the combination of collaboration and competition all together. So for the next 20 minutes, I will deliver you 4 key messages. Number 1, the competition of yesterday is not the competition of today. Number 2, because of that, dear insurers, let's stop fighting each other. Number 3, so if we don't fight each other, let's collaborate. Let's work together on efficiency activities. Let's reduce costs together. But number 4, let's compete individually. Let's delight our customers individually. So let's start. My name is Samia Mezour. I'm the Chief Innovation Officer of HITS, a Generali company. HITS stands for House of InsurTech Switzerland, and it's an insurtech hub that brings together corporates on one side and startups on the other side. And together with HITS, we co-create customer-centric, innovative solutions that are scalable. Before going into co-opetition among insurers, I would like to start way back in history to talk about how insurance as a business was loved back then compared to little love today. Thousands of years ago, insurance, or its basic concept, used to be loved by the Babylonian traders who ventured into dangerous journeys with their caravans through deserts. The concept of insurance was so loved by the Babylonian civilization that it was even engraved as a law into one of the first constitutions in the world, the famous Babylonian Code of Hammurabi in 1754 BC, almost 4,000 years ago. But what is the situation today? Is there love for insurance like it was in the past? Well, it seems that people today have little love for insurance. First, in the collective unconscious, people tend to associate insurance with negative feelings, in the sense of, when I need you, you don't pay. And second, among insurers, we barely differentiate ourselves, like this pack of eggs. We sell the same products to relatively the same price. So, in that sense, it seems that insurance has become a commodity. In other words, we struggle tremendously to delight our customers by differentiating. And therefore, there is little love for insurance. The insurance market is an attractive market, a $6 trillion market. And it is growing, mainly driven by the non-life sector, particularly in China and emerging Asian countries, but still a very attractive market. So attractive that the venture capital industry senses the huge potential that insurance is in desperate need for innovation. And VCs are increasingly investing in insurtech startups. Let's have a look. Since 2014, insurtech investments grew with an annual growth of nearly 50% in both P&C and life and health. And the trend is not slowing down. Not even COVID-19 managed to do that in Q1 2020. It was a simple bump in the road That was followed by investments worth 1.6 billion US dollars in Q2 2020. Like nothing happened. But what does that mean for insurance incumbents? Well, it means bad news because new entrants are coming into the insurance playground that was safe for centuries. Entry barriers are coming down, and two types of new entrants want a piece of the attractive insurance cake. On the one side, the big corporates, and mainly big tech corporates, and on the other side, the fast-growing startups. Let's start with the big tech companies, with Amazon increasingly playing in the health sector and offering programs to its own employees as a matter of experiment. But Amazon experiments also in the P&C sector with Amazon Protect, ensuring the things you buy on their e-commerce platform. Next in line is Tesla, that is rolling out an auto insurance in California and is heavily recruiting actuaries this summer. Another example is IKEA, who is partnering with Swiss Re to provide home insurance and cutting out primary insurers from the entire value chain. And on the lower part of the slide, the other new entrants. Yeah, they are the fast-growing startups that want a bite of the insurance value chain as well. So you know the companies. Lemonade from the US, which is heavily investing in expanding, including Europe. wefox, the Swiss company that is expanding across Europe. And Root, the pay-as-you-drive American insurer. And many more. And by the way, what do these three companies have in common? Well, they're all unicorns. That means that they are privately held and they have a valuation higher than 1 billion US dollars. So my key message here is the following. The competitors of yesterday are not the competitors of today. We spend a lot of time benchmarking ourselves when the benchmark is elsewhere. Which leads me to my second key message. It is a provocative message, and it goes this way. Dear insurance incumbents, let's stop fighting each other. It's pointless, especially when surrounded by new entrants. Let us evolve from competition to co-opetition, meaning, and this leads me to my third key message, which is let's cooperate on efficiency issues together and reduce costs together. But, and this is my fourth key message, let us compete in delighting our customers individually to generate more revenues. In other words, all the savings that you will make by cooperating and stopping reinventing the wheel alone, well, those savings you can use to invest in delighting your customers with unique customer-centric products and services. It is a virtuous circle. In a nutshell, cooperate to survive and compete to thrive. So now what I will do is to walk you through what we could do on the cooperation side and later on the competition side. But first, on the cooperation side, what can we do together to reduce costs, to increase efficiency? First, I would like to rapidly summarize the challenges that insurance incumbents are facing today, because we all have the same pain points, like having a complex and outdated technology, demanding customer behaviors, more regulations, a competitive landscape, and a low interest rates environment, and last but not least, the COVID-19 pandemic as the cherry on the cake. So All this is putting us under an unprecedented cost pressure. And my message to you is, if you want to alleviate the burden from your Atlas shoulders, we need to cooperate together in reducing our costs. Fortunately, there are already great examples of cooperation, but they are mainly cross-industry and not focused on the insurance sector. One great example of cooperation is Swiss ID. With Swiss ID, a consumer can log into a multitude of Swiss online services simply and securely using one single login. So with that login, you can access to the Post, Blick magazine, Bilanz, but as well banks like the St. Galler Kantonalbank or Raiffeisen. And for our sector, the only insurance company represented there is Swiss Life. But the good news is that Swiss Life will be joined by other insurers that will join later, such as Mobiliar, AXA, or CSS. So you can imagine how much costs have been saved with this identity access management approach. Another nice cross-industry cooperation is the Swiss initiative Car Dossier, which is a blockchain-based digital ledger that manages all relevant information of a car over its entire life cycle. The Car Dossier holds the single source of truth on the car data, and so it creates a new marketplace for data around the car. And as you can see, all relevant stakeholders are represented. The car manufacturer, the car owner, the car dealer, and also the car insurer. It is too soon to assess if the Car Dossier is a success because it went live only this year, but it has the right spirit of cooperation in order to increase efficiency. What else can we develop together? Well, plenty. Take the example of the cloud. We all want to be on the cloud. So each insurer is reinventing the wheel and is trying to bring its business on the cloud, more or less successfully. But it is a huge pain because we are taken hostage by our legacy systems and data security. And going to the cloud is an expensive endeavor. So why don't we do it together without compromising on security and data privacy? Why don't we collectively use a single cloud provider, give the provider a single mandate to have a state-of-the-art security layer on the cloud, implement a military-grade protection to ensure the data privacy of our customers. On this highly secured cloud, each insurer would have its own fortress or environment and have the agility of a startup when it wants to develop a new product or a service. If we do it together, imagine how much money we would be saving collectively. Another cooperation opportunity is the ability to use a data lake. We all dream of a data lake that has access to a vast amount of data so that we can measure risk more accurately and develop products accordingly. And that data lake would host a trove of IoT data because IoT data is the new gold. The data lake could collect health data from wearables, smartphone data, smart home data, car telematics data, or machine data from a production plant. The problem is we all know that a data lake is very expensive. But if we get together on this, it would be so cheap. So my question to you is, why don't we collectively invest a small amount of money and develop a massive data lake, accessible by all of us. But each insurer could pull the data it needs, combine it with its own customer data, and make its own magic out of it when developing its own product. Again, a huge savings potential for a small investment. And this is just another example. And we can find endless other examples. We just need to be open to the idea that we can cooperate on so many efficiency opportunities. So now we saw several examples on the cooperation side, and we saved a substantial amount of money. What do we do now with that capital? Oh, pretty simple. Let's reinvest it into delighting our customers and generate more revenues. Let me show you on what we are currently working on, in all openness. Let's start with life and health insurance. We can delight our customers as soon as they are young parents by helping them how to take care of their crying newborns. For instance, today, what we did together with the startup Sounddream is training their blue device you see on the left to recognize the 5 basic needs of a newborn. And these are being hungry, sleepy, uncomfortable, wanting to burp, or having a stomach pain. As you may know, between the age of 0 and 6 months, a baby cry is a universal language. So when a baby cries because it is hungry, a Bolivian baby or a Swiss baby or a Chinese baby or a Canadian baby cry exactly the same way. It's a universal language. And Sounddream trains its acoustic model to help young sleep-deprived parents to understand, for example, why their newborn is crying at 3 a.m. in the morning. I can tell you one thing. I wish I had the baby translator of Sounddream when I was a father of a newborn a few years ago. That would have delighted me. In the P&C business, we can imagine that a few years from now, you could protect your things automatically when you leave your home. For example, as soon as this gentleman leaves his connected home with his connected bike, a simple signal could be sent to his connected bike and directly trigger a bike insurance. Therefore, automatic on-demand insurance without thinking about it. That would be delightful. So we set the first stepping stone to get there when we created Links, our on-demand insurance. Not yet automatic, but working on it. You just need to swipe right to activate the insurance. And I can tell you that our Links customers love their insurance, especially customers that want to protect expensive gears such as a photo camera, an electrobike, or a drone. On the life and pension side, what do? We are working on solving the pension gap issue. When you hit retirement and your buying power is significantly low because you did not save money on a pension plan for decades, well, life sucks. But in our case, problem solved. We have a solution. Here comes the concept of save as you pay. The idea here is for any transaction you will do, buying a pizza at the restaurant, running errands at the supermarket, or in this example, buying an electrobike in a store, each and every time you would do a payment, you will be asked to top up the transaction. So, in this example, after the payment, the screen of your Apple Watch would say, "You just purchased a ghost bike for 6,000 Swiss francs. Would you like to top up your transaction by 5%? Yes. 300 Swiss francs. So The 300 Swiss francs would then be transferred to your digital pension account that Generali calls the Digital 3A. And this solution is being developed with our garage startups, Imbers and Built-in. And voila, solves the issue of the pension gap. And that's a delighter. Now we come at the end of the presentation, and I would like to briefly go through its key messages. So, the 4 key messages are: the competition of yesterday is not the competition of today. Let's stop fighting each other among insurance incumbents. Let us cooperate on efficiency, and let us compete in delighting our customers to generate revenues. In a nutshell, if we start spending less time on competing each other and more time pleasing our customers, the natural effect is that our customers will love insurance again, like 400 years ago with the Lloyd's of London syndicates, or 4,000 years ago in Babylon. On the final note, if we do this, we become future-ready insurers. We make our customers happier, and we make a safer society. It's a win-win-win for everyone. We are the House of InsurTech Switzerland, and we get hits done. Now is the time for questions. If you have any, I would be more than happy to answer them. And if you'd like to pursue the conversation, well, you have all my contact details on the slide. And in the meantime, I wish you a wonderful industry forum. Let's start with the questions.